everybody. Our youngest son's birthday was yesterday. He turned 22. And usually when the kids' birthdays roll around, we try to remember something about the birth or the way to the hospital or what the weather was like or, something memorable besides the birth. So Dan's story actually started when I was about 5 months pregnant. Now, we had 3 daughters, and now I'm having number 4, and we're figuring for sure it's another girl. That's fine. That's great. So 5 months is when they do, back in those days, they did this in-depth ultrasound. I think today they do them a little more often, but back those days it was at 5 months, and they measure everything and just kind of make sure everything's going well. So we do the ultrasound, and we told the tech we don't want to know because we have 3 girls, and we don't want to know if it's a girl or boy. We want to be surprised. So that's all good. We go out, and then they said the radiologist wants to talk to you. So, okay. So we go into his office, sit down, and he says, well, I'm seeing some things I don't really like. I see some things, I think, on the heart of the baby, and I'm going to need you to go for some more testing. So now is this, pit of your stomach feeling of what could be wrong. And sitting on the table is actually a study that this doctor had published about tumors on the heart of babies in utero. And so I read the brochure, and they're just scared to death. So this starts the appointments now with going to the city for the ultrasound and blood tests and this and that. So we go to Pennsylvania Hospital and have an ultrasound, and they actually do, a cardiologist does an echocardiogram of the baby's heart, which is pretty amazing, right? So, and the doctor says, this baby's heart is 100% fine. There are no tumors. You'll probably have to go for more testing, but I feel like, you know what? Everything is fine now. I don't know if there anything else is wrong, but I just felt at peace that I think everything is good. So, but this now makes me high risk because of all these tests. So I am under the microscope. So every 2 weeks I have to go for ultrasound and non-stress tests, and really busy, and I've got 3 little kids. But you do what you have to do. I feel good, things are going well. So I'm down the shore one of these days, and I have to settle the kids with a babysitter, and I'm driving up from the shore to Riddle to go to the doctor, and I'm behind this van, and he pulls over to the shoulder, so I think he's going to pull off to the side of the road, and all of a sudden he does a huge U-turn in front of me, and I'm going like 50 miles an hour. So I slam on the brakes, and I somehow make it to the side of the road, and he's on the other side, and I just think, okay, some guardian angel just saved me, because that could have been ended very badly, and I was really shook up, but everything's fine. I go to my appointments. So this continues. Everything's going well. Dan is due at the beginning of October. So October 9th rolls around, and about 3 in the morning, time to go to the hospital. And we get to Riddle Memorial Hospital. I get in there, get settled. They call the doctor, give me an epidural. Thank you, Jesus. This is not going to be so bad after all. So I'm getting settled, and the nurse is checking me. The doctor's not there yet, and she's like, Mrs. Egan, you can't stop. Like, the doctor's not here. This baby's coming. I'm like, I'm not doing a thing. This baby has a mind of his or her own. I don't know. I can't stop it. So with that, the doctor comes in, and now because I'm high risk, we have a neonatologist in the room to make sure this baby's fine. Well, Dan was and is still always in a hurry. So this baby is born at lightning speed. I mean, he just flies out, and the doctor pretty much catches him. And because he's born so quickly, they actually have to suction out his lungs, because normally, like through the birth canal, the lungs are emptied of all the fluids, but not Dan, because he flew out. So anyway, the neonatologist is there. He's checking him. He's looking good. The doctor says he looks great. So Bill and I are just kind of in this like blissed out state of, well, I mean, here we have this baby, so that's always a miracle, and you're just in heaven that this is all fine and good. And now the doctor has checked him, and he looks good, and the neonatologist is saying he's fine. So I'm just kind of waiting for them to hand me the baby. Well, at this point, they've finished examining him, and they put him on a cart, kind of a cart that has a bar that goes up and a light on the top, kind of like a warming tray. That's all what I would call it. So they put him on the cart to keep him warm, and they're finishing up with me and whatever. So we're just waiting to have him. And next thing I know, a nurse walks by and kind of puts a hip into the cart. Well, on top of the light is a kind of a packet, like a paper towel packet of sharp surgical instruments, like a scalpel, forceps, very razor sharp instruments that are sitting on top of the light. And now when the nurse bumps the cart, the cascade of sharp surgical instruments are going right toward our son's head. So Bill and I just look at each other, and it's like slow motion. We just look at it and go like, oh no, as we're watching it go down. And thank God Dan's guardian angel stepped in to make sure that this pack of instruments landed maybe a centimeter away from his head. At which point the doctor said to the nurse, in a very hushed tone, just, "Nurse, never put the instruments on top of the warming light." And she was like, yes, doctor, and kind of shuffled out of the room. And Bill and I look at each other like, okay, this baby has been under a microscope for the past 5 months. He's been measured, he's had his heart looked at, and now he's going to be taken out by a pack of surgical instruments. So we just kind of looked at each other and realized that his guardian angel once more stepped in, and this is probably the beginning of a guardian angel that is many times going to step in when there are close calls.